Yo. Welcome back to the No Cut Sports Podcast with your host, now Frazier. Y'all already know, man, we got some things we need to talk about. As y'all know, tonight is the NFL draft. I just want to hop on here because I do got to work tonight, so I'll probably be able to watch the draft, but I won't be able to go live like I usually do. Money come first. We got to get these bills paid, but just wanted to hop on here and see how everybody was doing today. Talk about some of the draft prospects that they have brought in, some that we have known about, others that we are just finding out about, as well as the whole AJ Brown situation. We still got to monitor that situation as well when it comes to him, because I know reports that came out and they had said that the Philadelphia Eagles will be uh, going into this draft as if they didn't have, AJ Brown, which he is still on the team. But like I said in my last video, it seems more apparent that AJ Brown will not be here. Like I said, I ain't gonna get on here and do all that extra nonsense and flip out and get all beside myself and whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, like I said with AJ Brown, greatly appreciate what he's done for this organization. I'm not in the building. I don't know what happened, what's been going on. Also, like CJ came out yesterday too, and I guess I'll talk about this before we get into the draft. But CJ came out yesterday and was talking about, excuse me, was talking about how the fans are turning on AJ Brown. And I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I seen some people going on, online as I'm, doing my little crusade on the social media outlets and things like that. And I see people saying some crazy stuff about AJ Brown. But like I said to y'all before, it's like some of the stuff that AJ Brown did, you got to remember, didn't go about it the right way. I will say, like I said, he's not wrong for doing what he's doing because he's a grown man. He can do whatever he wants. But at the end of the day, it's a certain way you got to conduct yourself in these situations. Like I said, he went on a Jinky Rondo podcast or stream, whatever the case may be, and was speaking about taking him off, taking him off of fantasy. And I think I had him on fantasy this past year too. So, but getting him off the fantasy, his life was good, but everything outside of that, football was a shit show and things like that. So you got to remember that this stuff don't go away. So when something goes wrong, like I said, he gets traded to whoever, Patriots or whatever the case may be. He doesn't perform, or if he doesn't do live up to what he's been doing, and then the whole Diana Rossini, especially if he goes to the Patriots situation, um, the whole Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel, who came out last night saying he's not going to be at the day 3 of the draft because he's getting therapy or something like that for this situation. So it just looks more apparent that he's going there, but then he's going to. I'm not going to say he's not going because I don't know what AJ Brown thinks. Like, I don't know why he's upset, but it's not. It's not like you're leaving a situation that you don't like and you're going into another one. Like, you might get to the Patriots and you figure out like this ain't what I thought it was going to be. I know he grew up a Patriots fan, and it's kind of like I don't know if anybody's heard this story about Randy Moss, how he forced his way from the Vikings to the Patriots. But if you do know, AJ Brown and Randy Moss are from the same state, from Mississippi. I think from the same town in Mississippi, if I'm not mistaken, Starksville, whatever the case may be. But the story with, and I'm gonna be quick, but the story with Randy Moss was that I guess they had a game or something like that. And quote me if I'm wrong, or correct me if I'm wrong. Excuse me, but they had a game or whatever the case may be, and Randy Moss goes over to the Patriots hotel wherever Tom Brady was staying, right? And he has never met Tom Brady before, but he was like, dude, I would love to play with you. You know what I'm saying? He got that little country accent and whatnot. But he said, whatever way you can figure out how to get me here, get me here. And then next thing you know, was it either the next year or a few weeks later by the trade deadline, Randy Moss was the Patriot. Now did it work out? I don't think so, because if I'm not mistaken, was that the undefeated season? Was that the undefeated season, if I'm not mistaken? And they lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl. Like I said, correct me if I'm wrong. It's been a minute, but it's the same. It reminded me of the same situation. So that was another reason why I couldn't hop on here and get crazy, because it's like, bro, these are grown men. If they don't want to be here, like I said, that is his choice. Like I said, I respect everything that AJ Brown has done for this organization. I don't know how the organization has been handling him and things like that, but from the outside looking in, 2 contracts. We get you out of a situation with the Titans, that you weren't really, liking at the time, I guess. And we brought you here, man. So, like I said, man, wish him well, wish him nothing but success. Because like I said again, I'm not a hater, bro. Like, this is what it is. These players won't play forever. Jalen Hurts won't be here forever. Saquon won't be here forever. So this is just a business. So that can bring me to my next point where we can go and talk about this draft tonight. As y'all know, Philadelphia Eagles have a lot. I don't want to say it's a lot, but they have about 4 or 5 positions that we really need to be looking into um, this upcoming tonight and the rest of the draft. So, and even in free agency, because you might not be able to address all your needs and things like that. Like I said, this is more of a top heavy draft. After like the second round, when you get to the second round, all the talent seems to be somewhat the same, depending on what position you're looking for. As you may know, this past season. I talked about it a lot. Offensive line has been a big problem for us, man. Get Landon Dickerson, Cam Jurgens both injured. I was at the Tampa Bay game week 4, seeing Landon Dickerson hobbling off the field. Mind you, I'm like, bro, it's week 4. You know what I'm saying? So I knew that wasn't going to get any better with the meniscus tear. And then Cam Jurgens already talking about his back was messed up. And then he didn't look good, throughout the season. So those guys go and get their who's the Landon gets his contract redone over, takes a year off, talked about retiring and things like that. So those are things that you do not want to hear from your starting offensive lineman. So I'm expecting them to go in here tonight or sometime during this draft and address the offensive line as well as the tight end position. A lot of people have been talking about Kenyon Sadiq, who honestly, like I said, it would be nice. But it's like, to me, I always look at it like this, like, and I guess it kind of depends on your situation that you land into, but you got to think Kyle Pitts was a player that, had a lot of hype coming out of college and stuff like that. And he's really hasn't lived up to his name. He was going off a little bit last year too, as well with Penix, but it just takes time for some players, but then also the location that you drop to. So not drop to, but the team that you go to. So all that kind of works in conjunction. But overall, like I said, tight end was another position that we need to be looking into, and then wide receiver as well for the offensive side because I seen on Twitter it was like either John Clark or somebody like that saying that the Philadelphia Eagles will be going into this draft and operating as if AJ Brown is not here. So the draft will tell us a lot tonight about where the Philadelphia Eagles are standing, even the Patriots as well, because I know the speculation is that AJ Brown's getting traded to the Patriots, but the only how can I say it? The only deal that I heard that could materialize was that Rams deal. Now I don't know if they wanted to trade him in the conference or whatever the case may be, because usually you don't do that with a great player like AJ Brown. You usually want to get him out the division, so the Patriots would make more sense. But I know Howie Roseman was looking for a certain amount of compensation. So 2027 first round pick is what I'm looking for. It's supposed to be a stronger draft than what we're having tonight, and be able to finagle something there. But I'm also expecting Howie to do. He's Howie Roseman. He's going to do something that we're not expecting. If it is wide receiver that they address, I'm looking at him trying to go out here get somebody on, maybe the last year or two on their deal, a rookie deal. Somebody like Marvin Harrison Jr., Brian Thomas, who else? Just players like that. So overall, like I said, we don't know what to expect tonight. But I got some things I got written down here or typed up here. Some of the players that came in for top 30 visits, some of their pros and cons as well that we're going to talk about for the duration that I'm on here. Excuse me. But yeah. So my whole thing is this. Like I said, it's a top heavy draft. I don't exactly know where the board is going to fall, whatever the case may be, but I do have some stuff here that I want to read to y'all. Some of the pros and cons of the players that could possibly be getting taken tonight. The Eagles do have the 23rd overall pick in the draft. They are expecting some teams to trade up and trade back, so it will be opportunity for Howie Roseman to either move up or gain some more picks for this draft or future drafts. So, excuse me, and I do apologize if I say any of these names wrong because you know what I'm saying. I'm not no not an English teacher, so but let's get into it. First player that we do have here is Max. Oh God, and Hikior OT from Arizona State. His pros are a huge upside, elite athletic profile. Obvious Lane Johnson succession logic. As you know, Lane is getting up there in age, and we got to make sure that we're staying on track with that because he has a very important position with protecting Jalen Hurts or any quarterback that we do have back there. Been with the team for a long time, so we do need to look for his succession plan. Also, and multiple Eagles connected mocks with Philly. So a lot of people do have him coming to Philly. Like I said, it depends on how the draft falls. Some of the cons is he's still raw, and development matters more than the immediate polish. So, plus the player that if he does come here, possibly I ain't gonna say he's gonna start right away, but as you do know, for the position that he's coming in for, Lane Johnson was missing a lot of time last year. He missed a lot of time toward the end of the season last year, so he might have an opportunity to get in there and play earlier. But more or less, just a developmental player. Get him in here under Lane Johnson, teach him the tricks of the trade, and hopefully get him out there on that field. So, next player I have here is Kadyn Proctor, offensive tackle for Alabama. As y'all know, the Philadelphia Eagles love getting players from Alabama and Georgia and things like that. But the pros for Kadyn Proctor are a rare size slash trace combo with elite power, true Eagles trench bet, plausible first rounder. Cons is he still needs refinement, and one mock even had Philly needing him to trade up for him. So the Eagles do decide to go with him. They will probably have to trade up. I know a lot of times, like I said, people expect these players to come out the draft ready. Most of the times, it's not like that. You get a generational talented player like Myles Garrett or somebody like that. Even Kenyon coming out, man, was a surprise because regardless of what I saw on tape, it was like you got to go, go to the. Excuse me, let me slow down. You got to be able to go into the game and perform and do things like that. So, and that's what he did. So, shout out to Kenyon, even Cooper DeJean and things like that. So, so we'll see what they have there. Moving on, we have Caleb Lamu, OT for Utah, polished pass protector, athletic, a legitimate late first round value. Some of his cons are mostly a left tackle in college, so the right side projection matters. Um, Now, this would have been a great player that they do, like I said, they do draft him. And I don't know about the new O line coach and what he gets into. I know he's been a coach before and things like that, but it's kind of hard to replace Jeff Stoutland. At least with having Jeff Stoutland here, we knew like if we was bringing somebody in here, Jeff was going to get them right, at least to the best of their ability. So, and he always knew what to look for. I know he always talked about players like Brandon Brooks and things like that. So hopefully, whoever they bring in here, just like I said, won't be ready to go, but be able to develop into what we're looking for. So, next player that I do have on here is Keldrick Falk, edge from Auburn. His pros are his size, length, power, run defense, inside and out versatility, and probably the cleanest first rounder defensive fit for this visit on this list. Um, I want to say this was a player that was it yesterday I seen that they came out and he said that he did meet with the Philadelphia Eagles because a couple of these top 30 visits we have not even heard about until like these last 2 days. Seems like the Philadelphia Eagles have been trying, been trying to, trying to keep some of their visits under the hat because if you do remember last year, it seemed like every top 30 visit that we had, every team took that player. So, and I can understand why, the Philadelphia Eagles were coming off of a Super Bowl and they probably felt like they had the formula for, what they was looking for to make that repeat, try to steal some of our, try to steal some of our sauce. But it is what it is, man. I ain't tripping. So they did try to keep some of that stuff under wraps, but it is what it is. Cons for Keldrick. Yeah, Keldrick Falk is less pure burst and some smaller edge rushers. So that's the only thing that they have down for him. Excuse me. Oh boy, Penn State's okay. I just say I can't say Vega's whole name. Vega, Loney. I just been calling him Vega, which is a player that I'm really looking forward to if they can get him. Strong technique for his pro. Excuse me. Strong technique, guard flexibility, high end pass protection profile, possibly long term answer if the Eagles want to get ahead on the interior. So maybe something that the Philadelphia Eagles looking into. Like I did say, that interior side with Dickerson and Cam. Both of those guys have been having issues, man. So might be looking to not maybe replace, but bring somebody in here that can be a long term successor to that position. So um, the cons is guard at 23 is a luxury unless they're convinced about long term succession. So like I said, um, succession plan for I'm if y'all can hear it, I do apologize. They cut my grass outside. Oh my god, I apologize. I do apologize, bro. But anyway, let's move on, man. Omar Cooper, wide receiver from Indiana, who I like as well. Pros, productive, strong hands, yak slash contact balance, outside slash slot flexibility, and blocking effort, which is what we really need because we weren't getting that from AJ Brown this year. I ain't even gonna lie to y'all. He just wasn't happy this year, man. So the cons are not a true burner wide receiver. Um, in round one, it only makes full sense if Philly wants another premium weapon. Like I said, if they do decide to get a wide receiver high in this draft, that's because we're expecting AJ Brown to be leaving. So now, one thing I will say before I move on is this would be the craziest offseason if all this, all this has transpired, right? And AJ Brown still stays. The craziest offseason. So, and the wide receiver room will be way better too, as well. So we got to see what they do. But moving on, we got Kenyon Sadiq, as y'all all know, probably the best graded player in this draft. Kenyon Sadiq, tight end, Oregon. His pros are best tight end athlete in the class, pass gaming juice, obviously long term tight end succession idea for Dallas Goddard as he's on his last year of his contract. Cons is still growing into a full NFL route tree. Uh, Tight end at 23 depends on how much the Eagles value this position. Like I said, this might be a player that they would definitely have to move up on because you got teams like, Kansas City. I think I seen somewhere where Sadiq was getting mocked to Tampa Bay. And I can't think of the other team. So a player like Kenyon Sadiq definitely would change this offense, make it more dynamic. But then it also falls on Jalen Hurts as well. As much as I love Jalen Hurts and things like that, he does have to get that ball out a lot more often, man. Can't just sit back there, pat on the ball, wait for something to get open. You got to start, willing and dealing back there. So, like I said, I'm expecting Jalen to get better and better each year. These last 2 years have not been the best for him. And then with all this going on with AJ Brown, I'm just expecting him to come out here and have a more productive season when it comes to the passing. So, if they do pick up Kenyon Sadiq, it'd be a great value. As you do know, Jalen loves a tight end. Him and Dallas have a great connection. So I'm just expecting, like I said, they do want him. They do have to move up. They're going to have to move up, jump some people. So we'll see about that. Chase Bizantis, is that how you say his name? Do apologize if I said it wrong, but um, outside guard from Texas A&M. His pros are athletic, nasty finisher, could become a Dickerson slash Steen contingency plan. His cons are more likely round two than round one, which is also a good thing because, like I said, top heavy draft, but like there is some talent when it falls to the second and the third rounds. If Chase is one of those guys that are there, I can see the Philadelphia Eagles making the move for him. Tyler Steen I do like, but the penalties and all the other stuff, like I'm ready to bring some competition in there. So maybe he can spice that situation up a little bit. Chase can, and we'll see how they go from there. Next player we have is Danny Dennis Sutton, edge from Penn State. His pros are big, physical, strong run defender. Excuse me, fits Fangio's preference for edges who can set the edge firmly. Some of his cons are more power slash upside than uh, polished pass rush winner right now. Likely more of a day two target. So, like I said, maybe Howie moves back because that's something else. Like I said, it could be somewhere where maybe Howie don't even take nobody in the first round, depending. Maybe you move back, you get a couple of picks for that second round, or you get some picks for this draft and next year's draft. So maybe he does that, but we will see. But moving along, we have Chris Bell, wide receiver from Louisville. His pros is size and yards after catch profile. Something that you would want to see in the Sean Manion offense. Value could be strong if healthy. So, as y'all do, if some of y'all don't know, he has been recovering from an ACL, which really does pose a risk. You know what I mean? You don't really want to draft a player that has, health concerns. But we've done it before, like I said, with Landon Dickerson. But then I just told y'all about Landon. You feel me? So they might be looking for his replacement tonight as well. Landon was a player coming out of Alabama that, suffered a lot of injuries and things like that. Got back onto the road to recovery, did well for a few years. But as y'all know, running that ball the way we did last year and what the year before last Super Bowl season, as well as the tush push and all that takes a toll on a player like that. So, you got to be careful. You just got to, have like I said, a contingency plan right there. So what else we got here? I said some of these other players, but Travis Burke, Memphis right tackle, experienced in size, same concerns as Bell against NFL speed. They also brought in the wide receiver. Did you play for Arizona? Tyson. They brought him in. Now I don't think people knew about that one until yesterday or the day before. Another player, like I said, that they talked to makes it seem like they really are trying to go for a wide receiver in this draft because they are expecting AJ Brown to be gone. Jordan Tyson, if I'm not mistaken, my fault. And if y'all I see you got 3 people up in here. If y'all got anything, please drop it in the chat. I'm here to discuss whatever y'all want to talk about. Also, please like, comment, and subscribe. Greatly appreciate it too as well. Trying to just grow this channel. But yeah, back to what I was saying. My fault. I'm going off topic, but Jude Burrowing, Boston College, athletic, tackle experience, Eagles type development, O-line. Offensive line, likely kicks inside because of length/arm concerns. Hey yo, D, you know what I'm saying? You can't listen, man. You can't keep him forever, man. You know what I'm saying? But all I know is this. Your boy got us a Super Bowl. That's it, man. That's all I ever cared about. So it is what it is, man. If you leave, you leave. But moving on, my fault, y'all. I'm trying to read the rest of this off of this. Let me see. I said Kenyon Sadiq. Some other next one in 45 years. And yeah, all right. And y'all, no disrespect. You probably on that trajectory y'all damn selves, man. So at least y'all can get there. That's more than most people can say. But who else we got here? My fault, y'all. This dude crazy, boy. That's my boy right there. Bauer Sharp, LSU. Blocking profile, fits a tight end 2 role, limited receiving ceiling compared with the top passing game tight ends. You also have Nate, Bro Quicker. I do apologize. Texas A&M blocking tight end and roster utility. Very little receiving production. You had Max Clare, Michael Trigg, and Sam Roush. These were from the Philly Voice Eagles draft board. But they weren't on top 30 visits. So just some players to throw in there that that they might feel like they want to go, dibble and dabble, and if they can't get Kenyon Sadiq at the tight end situation. Some more wide receivers that they do have here. I don't know if I said Omar Cooper already, but Chris Bell, Louisville, size and run after catch, upside, and then the ACL recovery is a swing factor. DeJon Stribling, Ole Miss, size, speed combo depending on hands. Willing to do the dirty work. Route tree usage has been narrowed than ideal. So he said 5 years. No. Oh, 5. Oh, come on, bro. 5 since when? When the last time the 49ers won the Super Bowl, D? When the last time, man? You know what I'm saying? It'd be nice if you can see them win. You feel what I'm saying? Like I see my team win. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Be nice. So, but edge outside of Keldrick Falk, and I think I said Danny Dennis as well, is Romello Heights from Texas Tech. Juice and production that as a speed rusher, small frame likely limits him early to a situational role. Safeties, which is an area that on defense that we should be addressing because I do like Makuba. They got Epps back there. Going off the top of my dome. What's my man name from LSU? Andre Sam. They got him back there as well. So they do need to add some depth back there. Also, kicker too. I think they need to bring somebody in at kicker because as much as I love Jake Elliott and appreciate what he's done for the city, it's always what have you done for me lately with me. You feel what I'm saying? So if they can bring a kicker in here to brew up some competition between the two or whoever, I'm more than down with it. So 5 cents win. Great question to ask yourself. 5 cents, bro. Y'all ain't won. Okay, y'all got five. Listen. I'm gonna do you the same way I gotta do these Cowboys fans. We weren't alive. Well, we were alive, but bro, we was kids, bro. We ain't see that. You ain't see that. And if you did, you know what I'm saying? You got pop a VHS it. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Now at least you did get to see him, and we got that footage too. I ain't gonna bring that up, but you did get to see him go there 2-3 times and lose. But come on, bro. Come on, you want to see a dub, baby. So, but but safeties, we have Jalen Kilgore from South Carolina. Um, Size, arm length, ball production, box/star versatility. Probably more of a day 2 or 3 value than the first round option. Then you have Traden Stucks. I do apologize. I'm butchering the hell out of these names, but speed and length, speed and length. Older prospect and more likely a death/day 3 target. Um, my phone. I'm trying to scroll this down. But my favorites that I do have for tonight is Max. Oh God, Ienka from the offensive tackle from Arizona State. I do apologize, man. Keldrick Falk, edge from Auburn. Kadyn Proctor, OT from Alabama. Caleb Lomu, offensive tackle from Utah. Sadiq would be one of the top ones I would say for myself, um, from Oregon. Um, Vega from Penn State is another one. Omar Cooper, and then Tyson, if he's available, um, will be good start. And then day 2, day 3, we'll figure out from there what we need to do. But my whole biggest thing with this is I just want the Philadelphia Eagles to pick. Don't go for position, but go for the best player available at that time. Now, if it's a player that we don't need, because we don't need any linebackers or anything like that, unless it's the later rounds. But I feel like it's more apparent to address that offensive line, even wide receiver, because we got to operate like AJ Brown won't be here next year, and just go from there. But I think overall, I'm not really sweating the draft tonight because it's Howie Roseman. These last few drafts, you've been knocking them out the park, but this is a new scheme, so might be a different way of going about things. I do know that the offensive line makes that offense go as well. So it's just something that we just got to monitor tonight. I don't even know what because people were like, well, who do you think they're going to pick first? I honestly couldn't tell you, bro. I could never tell you. I knew cornerback in 24 when we won the Super Bowl. I knew cornerback was a big thing. That's why it was kind of easy to choose either Quinyon Mitchell. And I think I had Terrion Arnold going up to like the last couple of days. I'm gonna talk about Quinyon a little bit because I was watching Quinyon's tape and I'm like, and then he charted off the charts, man, for what 240 something like that. So I was like, bro, buddy, he get polished enough, could put him under Slay and things like that. He'll be ready to go. So no, that's okay. I already read that, but he'll be ready to go. So, like I said, overall, don't know who the Philadelphia Eagles are going to pick. I'm sure that everybody will be happy with who they pick, and then day 2, day 3 are just going to be days where I feel like we're just going to be trying to find some depth players. Um, but edge on the defense, I feel like is a big thing. Uh, and it's no disrespect to Nolan Smith because we did see it in the playoffs for that Super Bowl run where he, had the 6 sacks, whatever the case may be. But you got to be able to do that week in and week out. I'm a big Nolan Smith fan. Excuse me. I'm a big Nolan Smith fan. He was a first round draft pick along with uh was it Jalen Carter that same draft. So and even Jalen Carter got to step it up too, man, because he's looking to get paid either this coming year or the following year, whatever the case may be. and you just got to step it up, man. You want to get paid the big bucks, you got to play like you making the big bucks. So, the Philadelphia Eagles have no problem paying people when they do what they're supposed to do. So, with all that being said, like I said, Howie gonna go out here do what he does best. Like I said, I'm gonna catch some of the. I'm gonna at least try to catch this first round draft pick while I'm at work. Maybe I can go live later on. Whenever I get some time. Probably won't be for too long, but just discussing the draft pick and things like that. See how they which way they go to in the first round of this draft, and then day two, day three, got to figure out my schedule too as well because got some things going on. But I think either Saturday or Sunday, I talked to Mr. Reggie. I hopped on his podcast, watched his stream yesterday, or the day before yesterday. But maybe me and him get on here this weekend, do a joint podcast, talk about the draft picks, and go from there. But like I said, overall, man, this would definitely tell me where AJ Brown's going to be. His situation, where it's going to go. Because like I said, I'm leaning to him getting traded to the Patriots, which is, like I said, I wish him nothing but the best, man. You know what I'm saying? So I can't be mad at my guy. He got us a Super Bowl. And the crazy part is, it's like if he been feeling like this like the last few years, and he still was able to go out here and keep his composure and still do what he did, 1,000 yards. I can appreciate that, man. Like I can't, some of the ways he did go about it was not, not the way you wanted it to go, but at the same time, he delivered on, his investment or Mr. Lurie's investment because you get paid all that money, you get 2 contracts while you're here, and then you bring us a Super Bowl, take us to 2. So can't be mad at AJ. Like I said, wish him all the best, but seems like something's going on up there and with Mike Vrabel and that Diana Rossini situation because Mike never denied he ain't cracked. So, hey man, listen, it ain't got nothing to do with me, but he said he had to address the team and his family members, So you ain't addressing, you ain't having no difficult conversations if nothing happened. You feel what I'm saying? She came out here and said what she said, talking about it was a bunch of friends there, but come provide the evidence. And it's like, if you're gonna lie, you gotta be a good liar. You feel what I'm saying? So too many cameras around nowadays. And then I also heard too, and not to get off topic, but the rumor was it was her husband that hired the PI that caught them. So, she was talking crazy about Buddy, in the media when she be on TV and things like that. It'd be no way, like that be my lady talking about me. She going like, what are you talking about? He's an average dude. What? Come on, man. I'll tell you, boy. I'll tell you about to turn me into Kevin Samuels on this joint. But anyway, back to what I was saying, man. Philadelphia Eagles got another opportunity to reload this team. Hopefully get back to the Super Bowl because I know Jalen Hurts is charged up. They had my man working at Temple in North Philly, bro. North Philly. I'm like, yo, Jay, you gotta chill, bro. You know what I'm saying? We need you. You might get popped down there to joint. You got, I'm saying, you gotta practice. You gotta practice a practice field at the facility, brother. But I like he took it back to the roots, man, because I think there is a split in the organization when it comes to Jalen Hurts, and he spoke about this before. In 22 when they went to the first Super Bowl, how some people wanted him there, some people didn't. It seems like Howie Roseman and Nick are like kind of falling back from Jalen Hurts a little bit, which is cool and all because if he go out there and has a success under Sean Mannion, I'm cool with getting rid of Nick Sirianni and keeping Sean. You know what I'm saying? I know people keep saying like, why you want to get rid of Nick? And it's not to me, like I said, I just always wanted a play calling coach. You feel what I'm saying? Not somebody that season after season, we got to go out here. He said average at best, bro. She was cooking her husband for no reason. I'm like, it's no way he sit here and watch this and be like, oh, my wife is crazy. Man, please drop them divorce papers, bro. And I'm taking everything too, especially with this situation. Oh man, I can only imagine what's going to come out. So, but I just think it's a split in the building when it comes to Jalen Hurts. I think some people like him, you know what I mean. Some people don't. Like I said, there's a lot of things from Jalen Hurts that I would like to see him improve, but at the same time, the overall thing that has always been with me was winning. We want to you want to win. Like you can have a Josh Allen or a Joe Burrow or whoever, Dak Prescott, that go out there and throw for 4,000 yards, 4,500 yards, whatever you want to call it. Don't none of the players I just named that throw for that many yards have championships. Okay, like it's nice to see during the regular season, but the regular season is only 17, 18 weeks, whatever the case may be. When the playoffs come, you know what I'm saying? You got to kind of adjust your game. That's the game that Jalen Hurts plays. You feel what I'm saying? So, like I said, do he need to, improve? Of course. I ain't gonna sit up here, not keep it P with y'all, but at the same time, who you replacing Jalen Hurts with? Now, I did see something where it said that Joe Burrow and the Bengals are on that, not on the outs, but it's a prove year for Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow's been to the dance once with the Bengals of all teams. So Joe Burrow behind a good offensive line such as the Eagles would be crazy if they do decide to move on from Jalen Hurts because it seems like they want that pocket quarterback, whatever the case may be. But like I said, I like Jalen Hurts, man. He's been a winner since he's been here. He's gotten us to the playoffs every year since he's been here. No, we don't win them, all the games, but at least you're still going to the playoffs. Now, if something happens this year where he can't adapt to this new offense, because it's the thing is, it's like he can't run the exotic stuff. So I'm hoping that him working with Scott Leffler, also working with the team and Sean Manion and Josh Grizzard and those guys, that he's able to come out here and have a phenomenal season. Do I expect it to be a super polished season? Hell no. New season, new scheme now. You know what I'm saying? And it's probably gonna be some hiccups, some bumps in the road, some interceptions here. You know, but this will let us know because as much as I'm a Jalen Hurts fan, I'm a Eagles fan first. That's why I said the AJ Brown situation really don't move me all crazy because it's like sooner or later they're gonna get too old anyway. He won't be able to play for you no more unless you Tom Brady, but they won't be able to play for you for your team forever. So that's why you really got to appreciate these players while they're here. Like I said, I don't know what went on with AJ Brown, whatever the case may be, but it seemed like he's gonna get moved. And if Jalen Hurts doesn't perform the way that the organization feels like he needs to perform, do they try and move on from him too? We don't know. So excuse me. So it is what it is. But like I said, I do think he's gonna go out here have a phenomenal season. MVP caliber type of season just to prove the haters wrong once again. Um, but Howard's going to do everything in his power too as well to bring in the best talent possible. So there will be no excuses for why we can't, you know, why this didn't work or why that didn't work. And if y'all in here, man, make sure y'all like and comment on the stream, big dog. You know what I'm saying? Help a brother out. So, but it would be no problem. Being able to decipher what the problem is, excuse me. So when it comes to this offense, if it's Jalen Hurts or if it's the coaching, because I feel like now Nick Sirianni is all hands off. And that's, when it comes to the offense. If I guess if he, I guess if like I don't know how it works. If Sean has a great season and he leaves, to me that would be just the stupidest thing ever because the man just built his system and y'all let him walk out the door. Nick can't run that system, so we'll see, man. I don't particularly know, but yeah, man, yeah. And before I get out of here, I wanted to talk about that AJ Brown. CJ came out and said some things about the fans, and I don't know if I talked about it early in the video, but CJ talked about he tweeted out in so many words saying that the Philadelphia fans, turned on AJ Brown and whatever the case may be. And I want to hop on here and I want to say this, right? Love CJ. And CJ got a better understanding of the organization because he played for us multiple times. Pretty much in so many words, he was saying everybody don't get treated the same. You feel what I'm saying? Now, if you understand the Philadelphia Eagles, he said Nick got 2 years. Nick, you saying Nick Sirianni? He might have 2 years, but honestly, bro, they was trying to fire Nick the Super Bowl season when we was losing. What week 3, week 4 was? They was trying. I think it was like 2 times they were trying to get rid of Nick. So I never seen Nick's contract. Like it never came out to say like, oh, he got extended for this many years, or you know what I'm saying. So I don't know. I don't know exactly what's going on with that, but I do know this. Year after year, like I said, Nick Sirianni is a person I like, but when it comes to the offense, this was not the player that he was supposed to be inheriting. When it comes to Jalen Hurts, he was supposed to be getting Carson Wentz. He was going to be running that what's the Chargers XQB? What's Buddy name? He's playing for the Colts this year. But long story short, Phillip Rivers, that's who it was. Philip Rivers was supposed to be the QB that he was, scheming, designing his offense around, but then you end up getting, you know, a Jalen Hurts. So instead, but that Carson, he thought Carson Wentz was going to be here. He thought he was going to be able to do what he did with Philip Rivers, but then you get Jalen Hurts, which is still a success with, still one of the most winningest coaches and things like that. But it just always seemed like when it came to the offense, he couldn't call the plays, or whatever the case may be. So I'm just hoping that, like I said, he come in here. I don't even know what I was talking about. I got totally off topic, but yeah, it's just that Nick Sirianni could possibly be gone. Um, so we'll see, man. But I do think, like I said, Nick as a person is great and all. But when it comes to the offense, I feel like it's kind of bland now. Like I said, if it hurts and it's not wanting to run certain concepts and things like that, then by all means, Hurts got to move on from Hurts as well, because you need this team to be dynamic. But going back to what I was saying with the CJ situation, he was sitting there saying that certain players are held to a higher regard in the organization than players that they trade for, which is true because the Eagles would give a longer leash to a player such as Jalen Carter, or maybe not so much Jalen Carter, but Jordan Davis, um, Smitty, and all those other guys, because those were actual draft picks that they picked. You feel what I'm saying? AJ Brown was a player that they ended up trading for. I know we always talked about being a wide receiver. We had two wide receiver ones, but you can't tell me in AJ Brown's mind that he didn't think he was the better wide receiver out of the two of them. You feel what I'm saying? And Devontae would say the same thing, but Devontae was actually a more decorated wide receiver. You got to remember, he's a Heisman winning wide receiver. Heisman winning wide receiver. So, and I don't know how they classify Travis Hunter, because he played wide receiver and corner, but when he won the Heisman, but highly decorated, great player, great attitude when it comes to the game. You seen last year he was getting targeted a lot before AJ started, complaining and saying what he was saying, and it went back to AJ. But you gotta remember, man, Smitty is still young. He's still developing and things like that. And I also, the wide receiver coach, I think, could use an upgrade as well, because I feel like just I don't. He already came in who he was. You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like the wide receiver coach made him any better, or AJ Brown, to be honest with you. So, those players were already polished, and they go get the offseason training and all that. So, but long story short, like I said, they hold those players that they draft to a higher regard. So, I don't know if it was something along those lines, but like overall, it is what it is, man. It's like AJ got what he wanted. You got a Super Bowl. You got the stats. You got whatever you was looking for. The money twice. Even that was a rumor. They said that when they were trying to re-sign Smitty, they was like, "Oh, AJ was mad that he wanted to be the highest paid wide receiver," and they did that. So, like I said, I don't know if that's true or not, but it was just so many things that just been coming out rumor wise, and I'm like, this cannot be the AJ Brown that that I bang with. Like this can't be the same person. But then, like I said, you don't know what people do behind closed doors. You don't know what be going on and things like that. But like I said, overall, I cannot bash that man. I greatly appreciate AJ Brown for what he's did for this organization. If he does decide to leave, but he gonna have to remember, you know what I'm saying? You're going to a different organization. Plus, and it always made me it always threw me off, because I remember, and I'm not going to stay on here too much longer, but I remember an interview that AJ Brown did where the Patriots actually had him come on to visit when they still had Bill Belichick and things like that, and Bill was sitting there, hyping him up and all that, and they didn't take him. Now, of course, you got other needs, for a team, but and then if you're not available when somebody else takes you, it's nothing that they can do. But they didn't take him, so nah, go off. He said, "Nah, go off, King." but they didn't end up drafting him. So it seems like he thought this situation would be a good fit for him. Now that Mike Vrabel was there, Mike Vrabel also being the ex-Patriot as well. I think 2-3 time champion with the Patriots. But then this situation come out, and here these fools go again with this lawnmower. I do apologize, but he ends up going to the Patriots, becoming the coach. They end up going to the Super Bowl this past year on a very easy schedule. May I remind y'all? I do apologize for the noise outside. They cutting the grass, but um, Now they're going to have a harder schedule. Now, adding AJ Brown to Romeo Dobbs, and I can't remember the other wide receiver they have, which is really, really, you said, so you want to get rid of that AJ? Am I going to get rid of it? I ain't gonna get rid of it. Like I said, I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them fans that's going, like you see. Do you know? We watched the videos of when Odell Beckham left the team, or who else? Any player they burn his jersey. Like who the like, bro? I got my joint from China anyway. Come on, bro. You that joint about $20-$30. You know what I'm saying? So ain't no need to burn that. We just gonna put it in the closet right behind us. Put that bad boy up on the hanger. He's probably gonna collect some dust, but like I said, I appreciate AJ Brown for everything that he's done for this organization, man. Like he ain't do nothing to me per se or personally, so I can't get mad. You already know, bro. You already know. You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to get me some Phillies and some Flyer jerseys now. You feel me? Hang them Jones up, but um, hey, yo. Listen, I ain't got no more Colt stuff, dog, but yeah, man. But also speaking of the Colts, I'm glad he said that. Marvin Harrison Jr. was a player because we ain't even gonna get into all that. But Marvin Harrison Jr. Okay is on the Cardinals, and I don't know. I had a dream. I don't know why. I had a dream that he got traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. I don't know when this happened. I don't know if it's happening tonight, but I had a dream that he got traded to the Philadelphia Eagles. Yeah. Your boy like the Colts, whatever. But especially his pop, Marvin Harrison, dad, that was my guy. If you know you from the area, Marvin Harrison, what quiet assassin. And if you really know, he really was an assassin, but we're not gonna get into all that. But long story short, Marvin Harrison Jr. could be a player that, and him and Brian Thomas were like two of the wide receivers I was looking at that could possibly be he said we ain't forget, I'm crying. But that we could possibly trade for because it's still in our rookie deals. And that's something that Howie likes to do, like the maneuver. As you see, they brought Wicks over, they added another year to his deal to give him that little extension. But yeah, man. So I had a dream about that last night. I said, dang. I said, did we get Marvin Harrison? Which would be, I ain't gonna lie, like I like Marvin Harrison. Now he ain't really been too productive, but then again, look who his quarterback's been. So I know like from him and his dad, who his dad was and things like that, man. Hall of Famer, you know what I mean? 1,700-yard seasons and stuff like that when he had played with Peyton Manning and Reggie Wayne, like Reggie Wayne on the other side of him too. So it's like I know the talent there, mindset there. He just got to get to the right situation. So from the area, played in the area all the way with Roman Catholic, all the way up to he went to Ohio State though, but another great player that we possibly could add to the fold. But like I said, we just got to see tonight, man, because you just never know with Howie Roseman. He just wheels and deals, and I'm not expecting nothing less tonight, man. So if y'all ain't got anything else, I'm probably gonna hop off of here. Like I said, I can't go live tonight because your boy got to go work and go make this money. But I'm gonna talk to Mr. Reggie. I'm gonna send him a text message, see what he got going on Saturday or Sunday, and just talk about the draft. I think Saturday. Oh, and Rasul too. Rasul Faison. Shout out to Rasul from the area. Um, I think he's projected running back from Texas, not Texas. The Gamecocks, South Carolina. My fault, y'all. He's from the area. I ain't gonna lie, man. Very happy for him, man. I seen Buddy grow up running around with a football because his mom used to do my mom hair growing up. Shout out to Reek and them and all that, Miss Angel. But their son will be in this draft. I think they got him slided to go from fourth or sixth round running back. But I think he's really talented, man. So whoever gets him, wherever he goes, I wish him nothing but the best. He did play for Utah State for a little bit before he went to South Carolina, where he had 1,000-yard seasons and things like that. So, shout out to Rasul, man. I know it's a dream come true for you, my boy. But just make sure this just the start. So wherever he goes, if he does want to, if the Eagles have some room, because I think he'd be nice behind Tank Bigsby in Saquon. So I know they got Will Shipley and all that back there, but Put my boy Rasul back there and see what he do, man. See what he do, because he looked clean in the combine and all that. But they do got him slated for a fourth to sixth round draft pick. But depending on how this draft go, man, you just never know where you can go. Um, but wish him nothing but the best. I think that would be either Friday or Saturday, that round, I want to say. So I will be in. I will be looking out for that. But he's from the area, man, and from town, and it's just nice to see, man. I ain't gonna lie, man. That's a wild like, you know how some kids be like, I said to my damn self, I'm going to the NBA. Now y'all see I'm here in my room talking about football players, but to be able to even get to the draft is remarkable, man. So wish him nothing but the best. Wish his family nothing but the best. Um, that's generational right there. So hopefully he goes somewhere that they use him, and let him be free behind that offensive line, let him do what he do. So uh but yeah, man, but like I said, I can't watch the draft tonight. I will try to go live, depending on where I'm at, for a little bit, get to talk with y'all, whatever the case may be. But other than that, if y'all don't have anything else, I'm gonna wrap this up. Hopefully y'all enjoyed what we talked about when it came to this NFL draft tonight. um like I said, I can't give y'all. All right, I'll do this. Let's see. Who the Philadelphia Eagles gonna pick first? I think it's going to be somebody offensive line. To be honest with you, because it's either going to be. Well, let's do this. It's either going to be Sadiq for sure, because that's what I really want. But either Vega or Proctor. So Proctor, Vega, or Sadiq are my top three picks for this draft. Number one pick for us tonight, or round one pick 23, whatever the case may be, or whatever they end up choosing. But one of those three guys, I'm gonna say, okay, one of those three guys. If they're really trying to make some noise, be one of them three guys right there. So, with that being said, y'all already know it's now from the No Cut Sports Podcast. AOD, I appreciate you being up in here, brother. As always, I'm gonna get with you too, man. And everybody else, y'all be safe. Like I said, if I can, I'll go live tonight. I don't know what time. It's probably gonna be late, like 10 o'clock. I ain't gonna lie to you. But 10 o'clock, 10:30, I might go live and just try to talk to y'all for a little bit while I'm doing my work. But other than that, just stay tuned. Like I said, I'm gonna talk to Mr. Reggie, see if we can get something for y'all Saturday or Sunday. Talk about the draft, talk about whatever else pertaining to the Philadelphia Eagles. Also, shout out to the Flyers. Shout out to the Flyers, man. They've been holding it down 3-0 to the Penguins. Phillies, y'all been ass, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. I should take this daggone hoodie off. They let go Tawani Walker too as well before I hopped on here, so we ain't got to worry about him no more. They should have re-signed Ranger Danger, but it is what it is, man. So better late than never. You already know, bro. So with that being said, man, I'm gonna hop off of here. Love y'all, appreciate y'all, and y'all already know, man. Go Birds, man. I'm gonna holla at y'all. Y'all be safe, man.